No, but seriously, let's get to it.
I'm sorry. I don't know. That wasn't even funny.
What the? But it's 2025, and that's a bummer.
2025 has really, what do you say for started off with a bang when you can't say that because it literally did?
Started off with a crash, not a bang.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Crash and then a bang?
I don't know.
It was a crash and then a bang, actually.
I would say a dumpster fire, but that would be insensitive to the people that are in California right now who are literally still in the midst of devastation.
There's so much going on in the world. I literally cannot. If I think about it too hard, I will have a panic attack.
Yeah.
I'm sending so much good vibes and love to the people in California who are affected by this fire. It's terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
And to know I think the last I heard there were 4, maybe 5 separate fires.
Yeah, because the wind is moving so fast.
They have not been contained. People are losing their homes. Mm-hmm. People are losing their lives. It's terrible.
One thing that really hit me was I was watching the Today Show, and it was early morning, so it would have been still the middle of the night on the West Coast, and the field anchor that they had was reporting on his childhood neighborhood. Like, Jacob Soboroff grew up there. He's like, this happens to be the community that I was born and raised in, 26,000 residents. Like, could you imagine? And the professionalism, and even the people that are out there reporting have to wear all of this like protective gear because, I mean, they're tens of feet away from it. It's really, really sad. So many people are, trying to not Jeff Goldblum. A lot of very,
You know what? This is actually going to be really offensive. Because I don't know his name, but I think he played,
the dad
in Malibu's Most Wanted.
Yes. What is his name? He did an interview.
I have to look it up.
I feel so bad because he did do an interview, and I was like, really, really.
Bill
good.
Gluckman.
Yep.
Well, no, that's not his name. That's just his name in the movie.
Yeah.
Who played Bill Gluckman? Ryan O'Neal.
Oh, I don't think I knew that was his name. Who am I thinking of? The fuck.
That's also not him because Ryan O'Neal died in 2023.
You can't. No. I was in a group chat the other night. We were talking about our old man crushes. And I was like, who was that old man that I used to have a crush on? And this is weird because I can tell from your face that you are not going to have an answer. And I'm really disappointed.
I don't know that I have an answer.
Can I tell you, when I looked up who, I was like, I'm pretty sure it's this guy. He has been dead for 13 years.
No.
And I was like,
who?
I don't know if I should say.
You have to now.
I think it was Dennis Hopper. I think.
Dennis Hopper's not dead.
Ma'am.
Is he? Oh my God, Dennis Hopper did die 14 so long ago. Wow,
and
R.I.P.
he was born in 1936. So, like, some of these women were like, yeah, I can't even go back. The one that stuck out to me was like Sean Connery, and I was like, yeah, he's pretty old. He's dead too?
No.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah, I think so.
Where have I been? I'm not paying attention to these old men, honestly.
Oh my God, if he's not, I'm gonna feel so bad.
He did. He died 4 years ago
Yeah.
at 90.
Okay, well, he's an even older man then. I don't feel so bad. But yeah, I was like, Dennis Hopper, and then I looked it up and I was like, oh my God, that is a very old man.
Wait, but I mean, like, is he hot?
Like, in his day? So it's kind of like someone saying like Clint Eastwood, you know?
Is he still around? Dennis Hopper looks I mean, like, he lived a very long life, so there's a lot of pictures that I'm looking at right now.
Yes, yes.
But one of these looks straight out of Woodstock, 1969. Is that when Woodstock happened?
Yeah, I think so.
Look at me. I've never been more proud of myself. Wow.
Oh my God, Clint Eastwood is 94 years old.
Do you remember when Clint Eastwood had a reality show with his wife, Dina, and their children? It wasn't as good as Alexis Near's, but it was just as bad.
Yes. No, but seriously, they divorced in 2014, so it was probably because of the show. But it was also it was that early era of reality TV that was just like the wild, wild west.
Literally, Clint.
And what was his name? Dirty Harry? Inspector Callahan?
Do you think I was watching those movies? There were no black people in any of those movies. I was not watching them.
That is fair. I was not either, but I had to learn who he was because Dirty Harry was, I think his character's name was Inspector Callahan. And so, depending on most of my life, it could be over the phone, and I would know what generation somebody fell into. And so, let me ask you this. Well, you met me in college, so that doesn't count. But if I say, my name's Callahan, and someone's like, oh, this is how it goes. Hi, it's nice to meet you. What's your name? I'm Callahan. Oh, what's your first name? It's Callahan. What do people call you? They call me Callahan. And then they say, oh, like the movie.
I kind of want to maybe say Legally Blonde, but that might be wrong. Was someone named Callahan in Legally Blonde?
Professor Callahan. So, older people will say Dirty Harry, Clint Eastwood. I'm like, yep, good one. The middle of the road, like Gen X, elder millennial will be like Tommy Boy, Big Tom Callahan.
Oh.
And then like Gen Z or like young millennials will be like, oh my God, Legally Blonde, Professor Callahan, who's actually the bad guy, but
yeah,
whatever.
I feel like not too long ago I saw that Legally Blonde had turned 20. And I could be wrong, or like we're close to it. It may have been that, or like Bring It On. And I quickly closed my computer because what the fuck are you? Who are you speaking to like this?
Mean Girls was 20 last year.
Actually, it may have been Mean Girls because Legally Blonde came out in 2001, 14 years ago.
Oh, that hurts.
No, is that the math?
Hurts.
I'm gonna edit that part out if that math is not right.
Yeah.
It's not 14. It's 24. What? Legally Blonde came out in 2001, 24 years ago.
Oh, that is 24 years ago.
Fuck.
Yikes. Ugh.
That.
Ugh, it hurts. Also, I confirmed Woodstock was in August of 1969. So you are a literal genius.
Literally don't know how I knew that.
Oh, you said Hulu. That made me think of a show that movie. It was a movie I recently watched. And I should really look up and know the name of it. Sunny Beach. But Julie Roberts is in it.
Oh. Recent?
Yeah. Just came out. Leave the World Behind. Have you seen it? It is on Netflix,
okay, first
actually.
of all, Leave the World Behind came out like 2 years ago.
Why was 2023 2 years ago?
Do you know that
oh my God.
It is probably a prequel to whatever is to come? We should all watch it again. I'm convinced that this is what we will be seeing in 3 to 5 business years or less.
I'm egreged. I am egreged. If that is not the proper use of the word, yes, it is. I'm egreged. I had a baby in 2023, and she's 13 months old. So you know what? It wasn't 2 years ago. It wasn't. It can't be. She's running, but she also does this like drunk toddler like lean where she just sort of like wobbles somewhere. Like she's sort of like shouldered the wall as she was
Shoulder
walking the other
lean.
day. She did, and then she's like, "Oh, I'm good." She got herself back up, and I was like, "She's fine." That's honestly the thing with girls that I found. Like, she's just so tough. She doesn't give a shit. Except
Have
for
you
right now.
seen
So I'm sorry if you hear that.
Have you seen that TikTok or heard that TikTok sound where a mother picks up the phone and she's like, "Hey girl," and her friend is like, "Hey bitch," and she's like, "I'm with the kids," and she's like, "Hey bitches," and she's like, "The kids are in the car, they're children," and she's like, "Hey little bitches." I've never felt more seen, and
Yep.
just now when you were like, "She's walking," I want to be like, "That bitch is running." I was like, "Don't say that. That's so inappropriate."
I know, but you know what I love is that I have several of my like closest friends are child free, and you will put a little trigger warning in your Snapchats. You'll be
I
like,
sure do.
"Hey, this is not for small people, so turn away now or listen when you're alone." And I'm like, I appreciate that so much. I have gotten to the point where I just know I'm not
Yep.
opening this. I am not opening
Yeah.
this on Bluetooth. And I'm not in the car, not with kids.
Honestly, everyone that knows anything about me should just know I am not for children, and do not listen to anything that I send you around your children, because I will curse and I will do all the things that you probably don't want your kids to
Well,
hear. So
and when you say you're not for children, you mean you're not for their palate. Not You're not like anti-children. You're not like against children, but you're not for the children. Well,
I
that sounds
mean,
bad. That sounds really bad.
I'm a little bit of a Sanderson sister. I tolerate my friend's children.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, if I were to babysit your child at 13 months, will she be safe? Yes. You don't need to be worried that your child is in danger.
I'll
By
be
any
worried about
means.
you.
Will either one of us have our best time? No. No. Neither one of us will have a 10 out of 10 night.
Do you
But will I
remember
bring glitter
when
into your
we
house and do an activity? I will. Will I give your child ice
bitch
cream? I will. It'll be fine. I need to do what I need to do.
glitter in it? That's true. We're all just trying to survive. Do you remember when we co-babysat or had a play date? I guess we didn't really babysat because I was actually a mother, but it still felt like babysitting, so it was very new. Do you
I
remember
blocked
this?
that out, and now I'm remembering that it never happened again.
It was just the once. That one time. Oh my gosh. We don't have to talk about
Yeah.
that. We don't have to talk about
I
that.
babysat my nephew, and I'm pretty sure he's 6 now. Wow.
He has to.
He can talk back to you now,
Oh yeah, I bet he does too.
and like, I will cuss a 6-year-old out. So
He's
I'm just kidding. No, I won't.
No, he slept in my son's crib before my son ever did. Do you
Oh my
remember that?
gosh.
Like a nap, but he was good. He was a good napper.
He was good.
He was a solid napper.
Yeah. Now he's mobile, and he might even have a cell phone.
When do kids get cell phones nowadays?
Do your kids have a cell phone?
Nowadays, absolutely not. No.
Have you thought about it? Not even the one that can only do like 4 phone numbers?
Nah. No. No. It's just, first of all, he can have a cell phone when either of them, can get a cell phone when they can be responsible enough to charge it, keep it
Yeah.
on their person, and we have enough separation. Like, I am downstairs right now, and it sounds like a circus because they're just like, there is a responsible adult, two of them actually with them, but
No, you
she's-
just left them upstairs to their own
they're fine.
devices.
it's like WW. My 7-year-old's really responsible. He loves his sister, but yeah, like they're not. This is the separation. Who's he gonna call?
Oh yeah, who's he gonna text?
Who's he
He
gonna
would
text?
still text you and be like, "Are you done yet?"
So, okay, we have a family iPad, and we made it very clear that this is a family device. This is not your device, and it can and will be taken away.
Like
at
that
any
Nintendo
time.
64 that was stolen from me as an innocent child. Is that what you mean?
Well, because there are limits, and he doesn't need to feel like it's like he needs some ownership in it and like take care of it. But like that thing will be dead half the week because he doesn't get like screen time during the week if it's school week, school night, whatever. And when he was going to his grandparents' house, he would sometimes text me or like send me photos. He likes to make little videos, kind of like stop motion animation with his Lego and stuff. But other than that, like, games scare me that they can like games that people like strangers can contact children on. Absolutely not. And I get spam on my phone, just messages from people that are unsolicited. So if he were to have a phone number, I know that that would also come with it. And I don't think that he is old enough or responsible enough, mature enough to handle that. And I'm not ready. But I know there are kids in his class that have them.
Yeah, if I think too hard about the bad people in the world that would like who wants to talk to a 6-year-old, you know?
Bad
Like that
people.
seems crazy.
Bad people.
Only bad people. Um yeah.
Yeah. No bueno. No bueno. There are enough bad people. Bad people that are famous.
Yeah.
Who's famous and doing bad things right now?
Okay, let's see. Speaking of famous people who I think are bad people, Jeff Bezos has paid, or Amazon has paid Melania Trump $40 million for a documentary on her life that will be streaming on Amazon Prime. Question for you. Do you think that this is money laundering? 40 million? Melania Trump? That was disrespectful, kind of. Sorry, girl. But come on. 40 million?
So it's a biopic? What do you mean a documentary? So. Like, a lot of times, I should say a lot of times, but documentaries can be made without the participation of that person or without a direct payday. A lot of times they can be in cooperation or sign off, but that's wow.
According to Rolling Stone, weeks after Jeff Bezos dined with President-elect Donald Trump at his Mar-a-Lago estate, Amazon has struck a massive licensing deal involving future First Lady Melania Trump. According to Puck News, Amazon has agreed to pay $40 million in order to license a documentary. Oh, and a limited series about Mrs. Trump. The documentary is set to be directed by disgraced Hollywood director and producer Brett Ratner. What? Who is that? Not Brett Ratner. Who's that Ratner guy who was like on the news?
Ratner.
Okay, well, someone named Brett Ratner who apparently is disgraced for let me just continue reading. Who in 2017 was accused of sexual assault and harassment by several high-profile actresses. Mm-hmm. The film is set to debut in mid-2025, and according to Amazon, will reveal an unprecedented behind-the-scenes look at the First Lady's life. $40 million?
That's almost as much as Jeff Bezos spent on his second wedding.
I think it's money laundering, but that's alleged.
Listen.
And just an opinion.
No, but seriously, do we think that the leader of the free world would take funds that aren't appropriately accounted for and funnel them in the wrong? No.
Not in 2025. No, of course not.
That hasn't been adjudicated by a court. Like,
who was never convicted of any felonies.
Oh my gosh.
What other bad people news do I have?
Oh, sorry, bad people. No, he's not in that category. Sorry.
Well, speaking of Luigi,
he already has the documentary treatment.
How much money do you think Ryan Murphy is offering Lil Davy Franco? I don't know why I called him Lil Davy Franco. How much money do you think Ryan Murphy is offering Dave Franco right now?
You know how typically when you see a true story brought to life, the actor is a is like the Hollywood version, like when the people are like, "Who would play you in your film?" Blah blah blah. I think Luigi could play Dave Franco in his movie.
Oh, interesting. I do
I
think Dave Franco's a little more attractive to
oh,
me.
I don't
You
know.
don't think?
I don't know. Maybe because I think he's a little bit of a weirdo, which we're all weirdos. He's gotten some bad press, but not.
He has? I thought it was just his brother.
Oh wait, little Davy. Little Davy Franco. Of course. I heard Franco and I was like, James, you scoundrel.
Okay, so thoughts on Melania's documentary? Will you be watching?
Listen, I don't want to. I love a good leading lady story, but I couldn't even watch Real Lives of Mormon Swinger Wives because I was like, that's just not quite aligned with me. But I don't know. I'll watch the clips on TikTok. How about that?
I'll watch the clips on TikTok. I think I could get down with like a 60-minute. I don't even know if 60 Minutes is still on TV, but I could get down with a 60-minute special following Melania around as she had to take care of the Christmas shit because I feel like that would be really entertaining because she hates it. Everyone, please send your thoughts to Melania Trump next Christmas when she has to deal with all the Christmas shit because she hates that shit.
She's not about it. Eiley, you know what? I just hope the entire thing is filmed in the style of her self-released video. When was that? September? When she was like, I just want to say I support
I did not see that.
Oh, yeah. It was...
I have to remove myself from the fucking circus because sometimes I get really upset. But sometimes. She did what now?
Yeah. We'll insert a clip here. Just kidding.
They will sue us.
Everyone will sue us. Yeah, I'll send you a link later. Or
Thank you.
I'll screen record it so we don't create more traffic.
Good call.
We're not going to be invited to the White House this year, okay?
Actually, that's just fine with me.
Okay.
That's just fine with me. Okay, last bad person news so far. Oh, no, hold on. We didn't even talk about Luigi. Okay. Word on the street. Mm-hmm. Word in the cell block. I don't know how word travels in prison, but I do love a prison, like, Netflix show, Jailbirds. Do you watch Jailbirds? Mm-mm. Word on the street is Diddy is very upset and jealous that Luigi is getting more attention and favor than him because they're in the same jail.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, not all crimes are created equally, and so he wants the favor of the people, or he wants more press. What does Diddy want?
Probably both. Probably both.
It's too bad.
Sucks, homie.
Sucks, dude.
I don't know that I could care less about something than I care about Diddy being upset that he's not getting attention in prison. Fuck off.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I just realized if I put a white button down under this,
you would look like Cher Horowitz?
It would be Luigi's court look.
Oh my god!
I mean, I would be the doppelganger of his attorney because they matched. They were twinning.
Yeah, what was that about? Do you think they planned that? They had to have planned it.
Yeah. And actually, there was a TikTok that I saw. God, I wish I could go 5 minutes without starting a sentence like that.
Same, though.
Maybe we'll have to soon. Anyway, but you know what? Sorry, ADHD moment. I also like that we own that instead of being like, I read somewhere. No, we didn't.
No, I still do that sometimes, too. If I say
depending
I
on the
ever read
audience.
something or I saw on
Yeah.
TV or I watched a show, 70% of the time I saw it on TikTok.
I'm pretty. I mean, I do read, but there are times where I'm like, listen, this person breaks it down well. Let me talk about it. But she was saying how it goes beyond just like the legal um aspect of like her role, like filling her job. She's like, this is how you show up for your client. Like, this is how you defend and like humanize your client, and immediately from the get-go show that you are lockstep with this person and you're going to be there. um, so yeah, it was absolutely planned, I do believe. This
Interesting.
was not. It was a happy accident, but no. I don't condone murder. I do think it's interesting that he has become this like Robin Hood of,
Yeah.
and now they're seriously questioning if they can find an unbiased jury.
I am sure. Wow.
Crazy. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Last piece of bad person news, potentially, is Army Hammer's back. Apparently, he will be leading in a new role. It's a vigilante thriller called The Dark Knight. I do not know if that is in any way related to
Yeah,
the Dark Knight
Batman.
that we know. That feels like maybe you shouldn't use
Pretty
that. But you know
close.
what? Who knows?
What do we know? Let him
Um,
get sued.
but apparently, he is trying to relaunch his acting career and not want to eat people. I don't know.
Let's hope. Let's see what comes of that.
He had a I saw on TikTok a couple of clips of an interview he did with someone. I don't even know. But he was saying like, I didn't mean it like that. You know how people say like, "Oh my god, this baby is so cute. I just want to eat you." It was just like that, but with the women that I date. Or something like that.
Or something like that. Semantics. Oh my god, crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Unhinged.
Well,
Unhinged. Also, you're typing away over there.
shit, you can hear that?
Yeah, what's going on? What are you taking notes on? Luigi? Are you sending money to Luigi?
Listen, it's not like his grandparents aren't multimillionaires, okay? He needs money on his books. How's he gonna get those sweet, crisp lines? Like, they lined him up anyway.
They sure did.
Yeah.
They sure did. Interesting. Okay, last piece of news is not actually a piece of news, and I should have talked about it with the Melania documentary. But
Oh,
speaking
yeah.
of documentaries, have you seen or watched the documentary on Brian Johnson? Do you know who Brian Johnson is?
Brian Johnson or Brian Johnston?
No T.
Okay.
Johnson.
No, please tell.
You may have seen articles a few months ago about this man who was trying to age in reverse, and he was taking like placenta. Nope, not placenta. Plasma from his son, and injecting it in his body. And he is like 50 something maybe, but he's like trying really hard not to age at all.
No. That's wild.
Well, Netflix came out with a documentary on New Year's Day on him. It's called Don't Die. And it is a little wild. The things that he does to stay young are actually wild. It's a full-time job. I don't think he does anything but this. He is very regimented. He is very focused, and he's very serious about staying as young as possible or aging in reverse. I think at the end of the movie it said that his, I forget what they call it, but it's like his like aging speed or something is like 0.6. So for every 1 year that passes, he only ages 6 months or like 7 months or something. He takes like 50 pills a day. He works out an hour a day. He uses an algorithm or AI or something to determine, like, listen to the different organs and what they need, and then he adjusts what he takes and what he does based on that. But then also he has his son, who I think is also part of this protocol that he does, and maybe even his dad. But his son will donate plasma to him, and then Brian, he will donate plasma to his dad. Like, they're all just like trading plasma around to stay young. Please just Google him right now, because he kind of, part of me is like, he looks great, and part of me is like, okay.
Okay, so two things. If that's what it takes to, he's 47.
Oh, wow. Sorry. I definitely thought he was older.
He's
which he's not going to like.
Don't die, bro. Spends $2 million a year or more on a determined campaign to live until he's 150, if not forever. What is, okay, first of all, I already answered a question. He's a tech millionaire. Because I want to know what is going so well in your life that you want to keep it going for this long.
He doesn't do anything. They touched on friends and lack thereof, and romantic relationship and lack thereof, and his son is getting ready to go to college, and so he's like, oh, I'm gonna be here alone again. I think all he does all day long is dedicate his life to being younger and not living his life at all.
This sounds like something that would fall in like the DSM-5. Like, this is a mental condition.
Yeah.
It's a compulsion. I don't know. That's really like, you're spending all your time trying to stay alive. Are you living?
I don't think he's living.
Are any of us really living to our full
any
potential?
of us
Are we living? Is this a simulation? Are we really living the lives that we could be living?
If this is a simulation, can you just like unplug us and plug us back in for a second? I don't know if anyone knows. Shit's been weird.
Really
and
weird.
We needed just a little reset. Wait, speaking of, okay. And I don't even know that I want to get into this because it's kind of old news now and I haven't seen it in a long time. But like, what do you think of Nikocado Avocado? Are his like, what happened?
I don't really know.
Is he posting old? You don't know?
I don't really know because I never followed him. Like, I just saw.
But you saw his recent his recent post?
No, I just saw people being like, what? That was the biggest, like, the longest thing. And I'm like, I don't know if that can be real. I don't understand. Has he been large and his content was just about, like, eating? Or I don't understand. I don't know who he is or what he does.
I don't know a lot about who he is or what he does either, but I know that there was a little bit of a conversation about, is he recording these videos in real time? The videos that we see of him being much smaller than he was 2 years ago, are they pre-recorded before he gained the weight? Are they 6 months old? Are they current? But then there were a couple where he was doing the apple dance. But I was just curious your thoughts on that because I don't understand it enough to really pay attention. Yeah. But when I do start paying attention, I'm like, what actually is going on over here?
Right. Like, can he hold up today's newspaper?
Right.
Okay. Do you want to hear a story?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to start. So, this one is, I know we do a lot of like relational type things, but this one is between friends. So, am I the asshole for getting too drunk at my friend's birthday? Okay, so this happened a few days ago, and I'm honestly torn about whether I was in the wrong. I, 28 female, went out for my friend Anna, 26 female, for her birthday. We've been super close for years now, and I really wanted to make the birthday special, so we went all out. Drinks, shots, dinner, the whole deal. We were having a blast, but I have to admit I went a little too hard. Been there, girl.
Yeah, I was going to say thing.
By midnight, I was that friend. The one who could barely keep her eyes open. I vaguely remember Anna being super sweet about it, but when she found out I was trying to leave in the cab alone, she quickly said she would come with me. I ended up a little bit worse for wear, and she was the one that had to tuck me into bed when we got home.
Fuck you.
I felt awful. I crashed early on her birthday, but alcohol. The next morning, I woke up feeling surprisingly seemingly okay. After chugging some water, I decided to head down to the pool at my apartment. Figuring Anna would join later, she calls around noon, clearly miserable. She, she sounded super hungover. Her voice was groggy, and she said she felt like death. I told her I was already by the pool soaking up the sun, feeling fine. But she did not laugh. She was quiet for a second and said something like, "Glad you're having a great day. I got to spend the night of my birthday taking care of you." So, am I the asshole for getting too drunk at my friend's party and then enjoying the morning while she was stuck, feeling awful?
Let me tell you something right now. That was a fake story. Let me tell you guys the real story of what happened.
I'm sorry, okay?
I cannot believe you've renamed me to be Anna. I think that's what.
I didn't. That was AI, okay?
Let me tell you guys something. If you want a real story time, buckle up. Listen. Listen to what my dear friend Callahan did to me one time on my birthday. So we were out having a great time.
Were we? You were.
I don't actually remember. I don't remember. I do remember that I'm embarrassed to say, but I will say that sometime throughout that night, I threw up in a public restroom and puked and rallied, continued having a good time.
It's our 20s.
Our friend was there. Shout out Tate. We love you. And I suddenly couldn't find my good dear friend Callahan because at this point in time, she still was very big on an Irish goodbye, which I do love.
Yeah.
I do love an Irish goodbye. But then also, you wouldn't tell people that you were leaving, but you have to tell one person. You need to tell one person that you're leaving.
Of an Irish goodbye. No, because then that one person's like, "No, wait," or "I'll go with you," and that's like, "No, I'm good."
First of all, if you peer pressure your friend who is trying to leave to go home into staying, you're an asshole as well. A little bit of an asshole.
Yeah.
If your friend wants to leave, just let them leave. However, it's never okay to have your friends worry about you thinking that you have been kidnapped.
This was before
That's also
Find My
not
Friend.
okay.
Like, now you have my location. You know anywhere I am. Across the country, you know where I am. But back then, back in the olden days, we didn't have that.
Also, it's okay if your friend says, "I want to come with you," when they live across the street from you and they want to go home too.
We were neighbors. We were colleagues. We worked together. We lived across. I could swing my purse and see you.
It's a little incestuous. So when I am having a good time on my birthday looking for my friend and I learn that you are in the Uber about to leave me, I get upset because I want to leave as well. Fair. I just puked and rallied. I gotta go.
Fair.
I gotta go. But little did I know you were drunker than me. Yeah. And here we are rolling around in the back seat like a little crash test dummy. And I realize that you need help. Yeah. We both need help, but you need help. And so, me being the good friend.
So good.
Oh my gosh, the good person, decent human being, caring individual that I am. Walk you into your house. Help get you a little food, maybe.
Probably.
Put your hair into a ponytail. Brush your teeth.
This, you know what? You have elaborated on this story since yesterday.
I just feel like those were things that I would do. Those maybe were things that I would do.
It does sound like something you would do. The fact that I did not remember any of this until yesterday just tells you what an asshole I am, because I truly I blocked it out. Also, didn't realize that. Yeah.
Then I also, again, on my birthday, play Frogger across the road to go to my own home.
Yeah.
Where I then have to tuck myself in, hold my own hair back, make my own food, and get my own water.
Yeah.
I have a decent night of sleep. Most decent that you can have when you've thrown up in public and then back at home. And I do call my friend and think, we should go out and get some food.
Yes.
She's only across the street.
Let's commiserate.
She's struggling.
I'll give her
I had
another
to put
chance.
that bitch. I had to tuck that bitch in last night. And where were you? At the pool, having the best time. I thought I was dying. It was probably the worst hangover I've ever had.
Oh.
It was so bad. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, you know, the more I think about it, since you've brought this memory back, resurrected. What's the other one? Exercise. You have provided what? Performed.
I thought we were gonna say
performed an exorcism of this memory. I do think it was a rough night, but we might have started too early. Like had dinner, like there was margaritas, then we might have switched. It was I don't know how, but I was like hangover proof in my 20s, and
wasn't that nice?
it was something, man. That was awesome. But I am sorry, and reading this story objectively, I was the asshole. I really was, and I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. You know, your liver is not my liver, and that's okay. I'm not okay with the Irish goodbye. You guys have to at least text a friend from the car.
I know.
Don't have your friends be worried about
Yeah,
you.
that's not safe. And I didn't realize that it wasn't safe at the time. I just was not even like that one time. It was my thing. Like I would disappear. I would walk about 5 blocks. I would go to this one particular honky tonk that sold fried mushrooms, and I would order them, and I just like eat them. Robert's Western Inn.
They did?
Yeah, and then I'd like walk back to Miss Kelly's. I'd be on like Printer's Alley or whatever. Like that is absurd nowadays. Like I would never let any of my friends or my daughter or anyone that I care about do that. I mean, people are disappearing in Nashville left and right, but yeah, I would do that all the time, and it was just not safe.
I remember one time we were at Play having a good old time. It was one night where there was definitely like a foam party. It was like an occasion. And I remember again wondering where you are, because also you're like 5. I feel like I always say that you're 5'1", and you're like, I'm 5'2".
I'm 5 foot.
I always give you that
Even,
extra inch.
yeah.
So it's hard to see you over the crowd, you know? So I'm like looking, wondering where you are. You said you've gone to the bathroom. It's been 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know where the hell you are. You also used to do this thing. Do you guys remember when, they probably still do it, but I just haven't been in a club in a long time, where you would go to the women's bathroom, maybe the men's, but I wasn't in there. You would go to the women's bathroom, and there would be a lady there, and she would have anything that you need.
Mints.
Gum, a little floss,
Yep.
some breath spray,
Yeah.
a brush, some powder for your face, anything. Like it was a whole refresh station.
Yeah.
You would become best friends with them. And this one time, you left your phone in there. You're like, my phone was dead. I left it in the bathroom charging with the attendant. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I have been calling you for 20 minutes.
Oh.
Right.
Oh. Yeah, that was bad. That was a bad idea. But also they would position themselves like directly in front of the like hand towels, so you couldn't just like pop in and out and be like, no thanks, I don't need anything. Like they made it so you needed them.
But you did need them. They did look out for you too.
Yeah, they did.
I'm sure a bathroom attendant has saved a couple lives. I'm like, girl, are you okay? I don't think that you should go home with that person.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure like
Yeah.
there are little saving graces more often than not.
There was one woman, and she just had this saying. She'd be like, move it along. If you sprinkle when you tinkle, that's not my problem. That's not my fault, but it is my problem. Do you remember her?
Yes.
And she would be like, hang on. She'd go in there, like, she would clean it up, and she'd be like, all right, moving on. And if you had puked and rallied there, she would have had a mint for you. She probably would have had an Advil. I wouldn't have had to get in the Uber because I would have been feeling fine.
Closest thing we've ever had to a house mother. Is that what you call them in sororities?
Yes.
Closest thing I've ever had to a house
Yes.
mother.
That is a repressed memory. That is like you just unlocked. What is she doing nowadays? Oh, I should call her.
I hope she's retired. I hope they made a shit ton of money. I know I was throwing money like, oh, here's a 5. Thank you. Oh my God, you're saving my life.
Yeah.
Here's a 10. Oh, here, take a 20. Because, when I'm drunk and loosey-goosey, I'm just throwing money out there, which I still struggle with today. I still am paying for that.
I am doing dry January. and I was planning to do that anyway, but in part for my friend's birthday on December 29th, the night started with margaritas. And this is another one of those things where, like, you mix it, and it was a bad idea. And for some reason, we got home and we were like, oh, we don't have any tequila, but we do have Captain Morgan.
Nope.
Those aren't interchangeable. So I ordered hot chicken at midnight, and then also dog whistles for training my puppy.
What's dog? Oh,
Like,
yeah. I thought
no, not the metaphorical, like, idiom of, is that the right word?
Maybe
Of a dog whistle, like a physical woo woo, like a woo woo, to train my dogs to come back because they're kind of assholes and they've been running away. But also it's $16,000 for a full, like, fence, and I'm not about that life either. So anyway, I'd rather do other things with that.
Yeah.
Like get hot chicken at midnight. And because I had one of those little things out there for, like, all the delivery drivers, like, take a snack, blah blah blah.
Oh, that's
I
cute.
tipped my, like, Grubhub people. Like, they brought me food, and I was like, do you want Fritos? Like, I was like, you bring me snacks, I give you snacks.
Not you making friends with the DoorDash driver. How did you even come into contact with them?
Listen, Nicole was running late, and so
First name basis?
they tell you on the app, Trina.
You look at that?
Yeah. Everyone was asleep in my house. I was, like, salivating, waiting for this hot chicken to get there, okay?
You opened the door when they were still standing there, though?
Yeah.
Wow. I look through the people until they get back in their car.
Get away from my food. I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
the picture of her delivering it was just me being like,
Wait,
it's here.
there was one time that I answered the door pretty quickly, and then he was like, oh, I need to take a picture. And so I closed the door, but my arm was still in it. And the picture was just, like, my arm sticking out of the door a little bit, like, holding this back.
You're like the wizard. Pay no attention to the person behind. That's so funny.
Wow. Shout out to Nicole, I guess.
Yeah, Nicole. But I also, like, when you Uber, you can't have anyone in the car with you. I don't know who Nicole's compatriot, chaperone. Anyway, they both got a little snacky poo. I'm not mad. I am not mad. They brought me life-changing food when I needed it, so.
That is the most Southern shit I've ever heard.
Oh, hey, y'all. You know,
What
I didn't invite
Southern
her inside.
hospitality?
You know, if nothing else, I was kind.
The only thing that's missing is showing up with lemonade. I mean, just, like, walking outside with lemonade on, like, a tray.
Yeah, hey, y'all must be so thirsty.
Yeah, you're working so hard.
Oh my gosh, it's midnight. What was I? Honestly, midnight is like the new 4 a.m. for me. So midnight is as late as I need to go, which is funny because I did not make it to midnight on New Year's. And I didn't toast. I had nothing because I was done. At that point, I was like, I'm just going to start dry January early.
Okay, so this is the reason that 2025 has been crazy?
Apparently.
Well, now we know who to blame.
Now we know. Would you like to tell me a real... Okay, first of all, that was a very real story, but it was a real story. So let's revisit an actual Reddit submission where other people have...
I do have options for you.
Okay.
I will read you the title of both, and you will pick which one you want. Does that sound okay?
That sounds great.
Am I the asshole for, quote, poisoning my roommate after he kept stealing my food? Or was I wrong for going a little too far and scaring my girlfriend's son?
I can't do stuff with kids. It makes me sad. I'm going to go with poisoning.
Okay. Am I the asshole for poisoning my roommate after he kept stealing my food? So, I, 25 female, live with my roommate, 27 male. I originally lived alone, but due to some financial difficulties, I invited him to live with me. Well, to be specific, one of my friends told me about him when I told everyone I was searching for a roommate. So this sounds like a friend of mine.
Yeah.
He was fine at first. He didn't smoke and he didn't do drugs, so I let him live with me. He pays half of all the rent and utilities. But we've had some serious issues lately. I work a full-time, late into the night job, so I cook for myself before leaving for work. It was all good for a few months until recently when I came home, I noticed that my food was missing. I asked him about it and he would deny it over and over again. Every single time. I even started to label everything I made with my name, but my food kept disappearing, which really pissed me off. Now, for some additional context, I'm not even a huge fan of nuts. I don't crave them. I don't eat them much at all, but my roommate is severely allergic. He told me when he came to live with me that he cannot consume anything with nuts, so I've avoided nuts in our shared space completely for the sake of his allergy. But after weeks of my food going missing and him always denying it, I just snapped. The thing is, literally no one lives here other than me and him, and he doesn't really have a lot of friends that I know of since he joined my friend group after moving here. Oh, sorry. I read that wrong. He doesn't have a lot of friends that I don't know since he joined my friend group after moving here. I know for a fact that he doesn't have anyone staying over, so it was him. Plus, I even caught him eating my food a few times, so that just shows he's a sly pig. I remember preparing some cooked ribs for myself to reheat after I returned home from work. I was going to be an especially tiring day as usual. I labeled the container with ribs, and he left for work. No, I left for work. Sorry, guys. I sent him a message telling him do not eat it with a picture of the container. However, alas, the food was gone. At this point, I was so pissed I decided I was going to mess with him. I went out of my way to buy almond powder and put it in my trap meal of mac and cheese. I gave this guy a chance to spare his life, and I told him not to eat it. I even made sure to tell him, hey, that mac and cheese is mine, don't touch it. I even sent a message with a picture of it as usual. I was being extra clear, and just to make sure everything went according to plan, I secretly set up a camera to record the kitchen. Later that night, I came back and saw that he'd eaten the entire batch. That pig was so fucking inconsiderate that he just left the reheated container on the table. I decided to take the camera with me, and I decided to head out to the bar. If he hadn't eaten the mac and cheese, I would have stayed home and binged Netflix, but he ate it, so I might as well enjoy myself while he struggles with his allergy. So, as expected, a few hours later, I found out he was in the hospital with an allergic reaction. His mom used his phone to call me, being furious. She was screaming at me, accusing me of being a monster, poisoning her son by feeding him nuts. I told her that that food was not meant to him, and I sent her proof. I told her to read the messages I sent him, which showed the container and my reminder that he shouldn't eat it. However, his mom started berating me for, quote, being, quote, careless, asking why I would have something that he can't eat. I just responded and told him not to eat the mac and cheese and even labeled it. I got pissed and screamed into the phone that if he can't respect that and he keeps taking my food, then I don't know what else to do. I told her that I've been very clear about this for months, and he keeps on stealing my food and denying it. She then started bullshitting, asking me if I even cared about him. I told her I didn't because I've repeatedly told him not to steal my food. I told her, oh my God, this is way longer than I thought it was. I'm so sorry. I told her I didn't because I repeatedly told him not to steal my food. I told her that he denied it every time and would still eat it even if I specifically messaged him not to eat the labeled container. I even told her I had video evidence of the whole thing.
Oh no.
She didn't want to hear it and started crying, but honestly, I didn't feel guilty at all. I felt like this was the only way he'd learn. I tried conversations, messages, and everything else that I could think of, but he just can't cook for himself. How is it my fault? It's not like I put it in his food. It was in mine. But everyone's calling me a psycho. I don't get why I'm the bad guy. I specifically told him not to eat the food. His family clearly raised him to think that that was okay, to take things that weren't his, and now I'm the one being vilified. But at the same time, I know that he's kind of broke. He can't afford the hospital bills. So right now, I do feel guilty about that. So, am I the asshole, or was I justified in teaching him a lesson about respecting my food?
Oh my God.
Yeah. I didn't read that one before we read it live right now.
I think that's a crime.
It 100% is a crime.
Like, I'm actually reading a book right now, not a video I saw on Reddit, called Society of Lies. And there, no spoilers, but like, there is a portion in there where there is intention to poison someone, but the wrong person takes it. And so, like, it doesn't matter. You still, like, what? What if he
Yeah.
died?
He very well, like, I feel like a nut allergy is one of the most serious allergies a person can have. That's insane.
I feel like if you could, if you were going to get video evidence anyway, why add insult to injury? Just
Right.
get the evidence. Like, did
Right.
you, at some point to be like, yeah, he is really broke. At some point, you could have said like, hey, if you're struggling with meal prepping, I can just portion this out into two batches, but I'd appreciate if you picked up this bill or like pay for half the
Yeah.
groceries, something, whatever it may be. But like, that is so extreme. To, I mean, your intention was to injure the person.
It has to be. There are a multitude of things that I think could have been done
Yeah,
before
before that.
attempting murder.
I mean, did you try just like putting the food in your room? Like get a mini fridge or like
Get a mini fridge.
lock
Lock the
it?
door.
Lock the door. What? Like
That's insane.
you could have slowly starved him faster. Or not faster, but like that would have taught him a lesson too. Just get the video evidence.
Right.
How rude.
Right.
How awful. Like that's bad.
It's actually terrible. It's one of the worst things that you can do.
Do you
There
even
are
care about him? No.
No, that's insane. So there are two edits here, but before I read them, oh, there are three edits. Before I read them, I do want to read some comments. Top comment is a better approach would have been to say all your food has almond powder in it, so he didn't take it. Someone else said, yeah, say you're going to keto and use almond flour in place of regular flour for everything, which is interesting. Like,
Yeah, you could have legitimately just been like, "Hey, every piece of food I have now from now on has nuts in it or whatever."
right.
Sending a picture, like she says she does all these things, like conversations, messages. I tried it all. But no, you're being really passive aggressive towards the end. Was he a dick for eating your food? 100%. But like you took it so far to say you tried everything. No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
One comment says, don't ever admit you booby trapped the food on purpose. Depending on where you live, you could be held responsible both financially and legally. I'm with you, and thieves deserve what they get, except you could have killed him,
Yeah.
depending on the severity of his allergy. While he sucks and deserves to suffer, I think death by your hand is going a bit far. Getting sick is whatever, but this was risky, not just for him, but for you. Label all your foods contains nuts, and then it's his choice and his problem.
Oh yeah, label it.
Yeah. Someone else said, such a bullshit made up story, which sometimes I was thinking that when I read it, because this is crazy, because I can't imagine someone not immediately calling the cops.
Yeah.
Edit number 1 is, a lot of people are saying that I could get into legal issues or something for putting nuts into his food. The thing is, I made him sign a roommate agreement when we decided to live together where I specified that food is something we will not share, including costs, and our groceries and food should not be touched by the other person. I added this because he tends to eat a lot of unhealthier foods, such as delivery, while I tend to make my own food to save money. Also, to clarify, I did not consume nuts only because I was considering his allergy. When we started living together, he literally said that I could eat them if I wanted to. But I just didn't because I didn't really need to, and I wanted to be considerate. I'm even more confused because what do you mean you wrote that into the lease?
Yeah, that's really stupid. And I don't buy it. But then it's just so judgmental. Like he eats a lot of unhealthy things, and like I'm so fucking great.
Right.
I don't know. I think She sounds like a gem to live with, honestly. But
Live by
took it
yourself.
too far.
I mean, if you can. I understand that not everyone
Yeah.
can, but like if you're going to be like that, if you would rather literally poison someone and then tell that person's mom that you don't care about them,
I don't care.
you need to do what you need to do to live by yourself because like you aren't great.
That's
And you are the
wild.
asshole.
You are the asshole. There's just a couple of assholes over there. That
There's
sucks.
I know. There's one more edit.
Okay.
Edit number 2. I would respond in the comments, but there's too many. I learned that his nut allergy isn't that severe. I was discussing this with my friends, and one guy literally mentioned the dude took a bite of a granola bar with nuts in it once and just used an EpiPen. In fact, apparently it's not life-threatening if he doesn't eat it in high dosages. I sprinkled a tiny bit because I was going to eat the mac and cheese myself later if it was there. I checked with my neighbors, and they literally said that his mom, they think it's his mom at least, picked him up and drove him to the hospital. It wasn't like an ambulance was called. He's literally okay, and he's texting his friend right now. His mom wants me to pay for the hospitalization, though, and I'll revisit that later. So, for all the comments saying I attempted murder, no, I didn't. I'm very thankful that he isn't severely allergic. He hasn't messaged me yet, but I sent him a message asking if he was okay.
Oh my god, you're such a good person.
If this is real, this person is literally a psychopath.
Yeah.
And also,
I hope it's not real.
I do too. Okay, I may have lied. Edit number 3 is I made an update. Please check that too before commenting. So here we are. And I think they deleted it. There's nothing here.
Because they got too much heat. And then they're like, listen, I checked that he wouldn't die before I tried to make him die.
That's crazy.
What? I just wanted him, like, a little, like, use your EpiPen if you have to. It's so weird. It's so weird. I hope so much it's fake.
It's so this account is
New.
a little bit more than a year old, but these are their only 2 posts ever. They have comments on some other stuff, but it could have been this one too. I'm gonna hope that this is fake because if it's not, the lack of empathy is crazy.
Yeah. That's some psychopathy.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, I feel like we started and ended this episode with talking about assholes, and like that, that person, OP, whoever you are, you can join the ranks right along with.
You're a bad guy.
Yeah, get out of here. You,
Get out
I don't
of
like
here.
it.
No, that's that.
That's that. And this is this. Thanks, guys, for listening. This has been fun.
Always. No, but seriously, this has been a great episode. Make sure you check back every other episode. We're going to do a No But Seriously story time, and you can always submit yours. Be sure to follow us along on TikTok and Instagram.
At no.bs.pod.
That's right. Awesome. Y'all have a good one. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.